getting cold. Baby, I just want you close. I got all this joy in my heart, and if it's getting dark, yeah, we can go inside. Baby, won't you hold me tight? I don't need any presents, 'cause I know I have you. I just need you and me, and I know it will be a magic holiday. Oh, you make it all okay. Oh, it's a magic holiday. Ooh, the rest just fades away. It's you and me, a magic holiday. The fire is burning bright, and the snow is falling down. Honey, won't you near? In your arms, that whole world disappears. 'Cause when I'm feeling down, you're there to love me right. Nothing compares to this. It's such a bliss, my only wish. I don't need any presents, 'cause I know I have you. I just need you and me, and I know it will be a magic holiday. Oh, you make it all okay. Oh, it's a magic holiday. The rest just fades away. It's you and me, a magic holiday. A magic holiday. I don't need any presents, 'cause I know I have you. I just need you and me, and I know it.
Hey everybody, Brandi here, and I'm sorry for the delay in us getting to you live, but we are here now, and I'm super excited that you guys have decided to join me today. I do want to give a shout out to Aaron, who did our updates and giveaways today at 12:30. I unfortunately have just had this weird thing this morning where I have not been feeling all that great. So fingers crossed that we get through today's session. All right, so let's talk a little bit about what today's session is about. It's called Design with Brandi. So I thought I would kind of take you guys through my design process and how I go from idea to concept to designing it to then testing it out on the Cricut and then actually putting the whole card together. So that is what we're going to do today. And we're going to be using a couple of different tools. I'm going to have to share screen. So if you guys were here with me on the kickoff call, you know that I'm not the best at streaming from one thing to the next. So just be patient with me. All right. So the card that I want to make is going to be a very simple card because I'm going to be cutting cardstock. And I find, at least in my experience, that cardstock on the Cricut, especially heavy cardstock, if you're going to be creating very intricate, detailed type designs, cardstock is probably not going to be your best friend. And I usually use HTV for that, heat transfer vinyl, when I want to do very intricate designs. But this is going to be a very simple design, and I want to do a design that has Christmas bulbs on it. You know, the big old-fashioned Christmas bulbs that we used to have back in the day. I know that a lot of folks here are my age or older, so you know the big Christmas ornament. So I want to get some inspiration. So the first thing I'm going to do is go to Pinterest and let's see if we can find some Christmas cards that have big bulky Christmas bulbs. just to give me an idea of what I want to make. Now, first of all, um, oops, what happened here? I need to actually screen share, Brandy. You guys can't see it just because I can see it. Ooh, Lordy. All right, so we are here on my Pinterest main main screen page, and all I did was search for Christmas, and of course, everything comes up that I was recently looking at in preparation for this class. So, yeah, so I just searched from Christmas, but if we want to get a little bit more specific, I can say Christmas bulbs, and let's see what comes up. All right, so this is definitely more what I was looking for. So I'm looking at this and I really like the shape of those. That's kind of interesting. They've used a string. I hadn't thought about that. I was thinking originally about how to make this into an SVG, but if I can't figure that out, then this is a potential possibility, is to use like a silver string or something. I really like this. I love this. I think this is a die cut from my company, and I like that little white, or that little cutout right there. So that kind of gives me some ideas. Let's see here. I love this one. This one looks, these appear to be die cuts as well, but I also love that they've done some ink blending behind it to kind of give you the illusion of the light bulb kind of um, glowing out in the different colors. So I think that's pretty cool. So I'm keeping all of this in mind. Let's see, what else do we have here? Now this one looks like it's either watercolored or potentially Copic colored, but still in that line there. I could see how I could make a line, like this, to do the string, if you will, and then still have these different bulbs and having the little white highlight there. So these are all things that are just kind of going through my head. And I know my limits when it comes to designing an SVG, because I've already sort of kind of practiced beforehand. I've kind of cheated. This little squiggly line here, I actually love this squiggly line, but I honestly do not know how to create that SVG. Now, the software that I'm going to be using is um, Silhouette Studio. That is the software that I use. And Harriet, there is, you can go to Amazon and pull a link for Silhouette Studio, either design version or the business version, and that'll be software that they can grab. You can also do some of this with the free version, but I like to have the paid version because it gives me more options. Okay, so I know my limits when it comes to doing point editing, and this squiggly line, although I love it, I probably will not be able to recreate that without a lot of tutorials beforehand. And we're going to do this class over the next 3 days. So each day, fingers crossed, I'm feeling well enough, we're going to go through this class. We're not going to all do this today in 1 hour. So this is going to be a process. So you'll have to kind of follow me through the journey. The other thing I'm looking at is this. This is kind of cute. I love how they have done this around, just kind of rainbow colored or whatever. That looks doable, but I really wanted to do the string. So let's go to one of my other favorite websites, and that is going to be Creative Fabrica. Now, I'm going to put Harriet on the spot, and she's going to put Creative Fabrica's free trial that, or whatever offer that they're giving everybody from the summit. She's going to post that in the link. Now, bear with me. I've not given Harriet any warning about what we're doing today, and so she's kind of doing all this on the fly as well. Hold on one second. Excuse me. Okay, so let me do a stop screen. And then we're going to open up Create a Fabrica. And this is where I go to start because Create a Fabrica has a lot of files, as you guys already know, and they can do most of the work for me, and then I can just go back and tweak it to my own liking. All right, so I'm in Create a Fabrica right now. I am going to search Christmas bulb and see what comes up. Now, I would prefer an SVG versus a PNG, so let's just see what we can find. All right. Well, this looks good. It's already got it's got it in SVG. The one I was looking at before had it just in PNG. So if I can find an SVG with those bulbs that I like, then we should be good to go. All right, so there's some of those squiggly lines. There's kind of a straight line. Wow, there's a lot of things here that were not here the other day. So you never know with what you're going to find on Create a Fabrica based on the day that you look. And I'm just scrolling down, just seeing what I can find. And I'm just looking for those ornament shapes. So there's some ornaments there. Not ornaments. I keep saying ornaments. You guys, I still have COVID brain. That's an SVG right there. This is the one I actually used when I was testing. I think I favored that one. Okay, so let's scroll back. So I've already saved that one in my favorites. Let me see if I can find some more, the other ones that I was looking at. This one might be good. So let's go ahead and add that to the favorites. I'm going to scroll back. Got some cute Christmas gnomes here. So this is PNG, but I kind of like that line there. So I'm going to go ahead and save that one as well. We may or may not use it because it's PNG and I have to do some other stuff to make it work. Let me see, is that? This one, vector graphics, so that should be an SVG. Let me save that one. Because oftentimes what you'll find is that one design that you find on Create a Fabrica may not cover everything. And definitely want to look at this one. And you might be able to pull bits and pieces out to make your own thing. Let's see if this one is a PNG. This one is, yeah, I think this is a PNG. But since we have other options, I'm just going to go with my favorites. So let's look at my favorites. And as you can tell, these are the ones I was looking at the other day, but today there are more. And I think we might be able to get away with these guys right here. So I'm going to go ahead. Now remember, Create a Fabrica, once you have, you can either purchase by the particular file or you can get the membership, which I highly recommend that you do. And that way you can download everything. The other thing that I love about Create a Fabrica is that it has commercial licenses with everything. So if I were to make a design with any of the stuff that I'm downloading, I can turn around and either share that with folks. Like I'll probably share it with you guys if we get an actual card that is done and ready. I could sell the design. I could do lots of things. All right, Brady, stop talking. Let's download. All right, so I'm going to download this into my folder where I keep all my SVGs. And then let's go back to my favorites. And then let me download this guy. And then let's download the squiggly one and see if I can get it to work at all. Okay. So now I need to go and double click and unzip those zip folders. So let me go ahead and close out Creative Fabrica. All right, give me 1 second. I'm just going to go to my folder and I'm going to go ahead and double click or unfold or unzip those files that I just downloaded so that when I bring them in to Design Space, or not Design Space, Silhouette Studio, then I can go ahead and modify and use those files. Okay, so let's search for them. Double click, and double click. Okay, now I'm going to share screen with Silhouette Studio. Let's see here. Here we go, Silhouette Studio. All right, just want to confirm you guys can see it. Yep. Okay, so let's start bringing in some of those files. So I am, let's see, when I go to the menu, are you guys able to see me doing drop downs? Does not look like it. Okay, so I have to use, let's go to the open menu, and then I'm going to navigate to my folder here. I don't think you guys can see it because it's a pop-up. Just give me 1 second. Let me bring in those files. All right, there are a few different light bulbs, so I'm going to bring them all in, and then we're going to figure out which one I like the best. All right, I think that is it. All right, so in Silhouette Studio, it has brought them into different tabs. So I want to put them all in one tab. So I'm just going to go copy, and then we'll go to the first one and paste. And then we'll close that window. Make sure you guys can see what I'm saying. Okay, good. All right, so copy, and let's bring it into this one. And I'm doing this also on the fly because I have not worked with this particular file before. So you will see me actually work in real time. No practice on this one because I have not used this file yet. All right, copy, paste. And what I'm doing right now is I'm just getting the files all onto one page so that I can see them. Copy, paste. Copy, paste. And then last one is copy and paste. All right. Now let me just double check you guys can see what I'm seeing. Okay, good. Let me just check the comments here. Is everybody seeing everything okay? All right, hold on 1 second. It says, how do you save as favorite in when I click on they open? Well, let's hold that question, Harriet. Okay, Now I'm going to go back. I won't be able to see questions on the screen because my screen's going to be covered, Harriet, so just FYI. Okay, so we are back in Silhouette Studio, and now I'm going to see, okay, which shape do I like the best? And I'm really kind of digging these two shapes right here. And that's kind of the same, and that's kind of the same. I don't like these, so I'm going to get rid of these. All right, now let's pull this in. And on second thought, I don't like that one. Okay, let's see here. I think the winner is going to be this one, but I want to change this white spot here, and I also want to change the little screw part that goes into the line. So let's go ahead and get rid of all of these. I'm going to make a couple of copies in case I mess up on something and I need to go back. All right. Now, in order for me to be able to manipulate this file, I need to do some testing here. So I'm going to double click and see if I can get into the point editor real quick. And it's not letting me do that. So I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to, and I always get confused whether it's make compound path or release compound path. I'm going to try make compound path first. Let's Control Z on that, and let's do release. Let's see what happens there. Nope. Okay, it's got to be compound path. All right, no worries. Okay, let's go ahead and select it, and then I want to fill it with a color so I can see it a little bit better. And I'm just going to make it mint green here. All right. So now when I double click on it, I get to all those little points. Now I don't really want to mess with the shape of the bulb. The bulb I like, but this little spot right here that would be cut out, it's too, what's the word I'm looking for? It's too perfect, and I want to make it a little bit unperfect. So we're gonna scroll up here. Okay. So I'm gonna click on that right there, and I'm going to, oh, looky there. It's actually two different things. Back up, Brandi. All right, let's look to see if there are layers in this guy. There are some layers. Okay. All right, let's pull these out into different layers. I'm gonna just drag that and put it, oh, actually I need to create a new layer. Okay, I'm gonna call this layer 2, and I'm gonna move this under there, and then I'm gonna create another layer, and I'm gonna move that under there. So now I'm gonna turn off the different layers to see if I can see the different elements. Okay, that just totally went gone. Okay, that did not do anything for me. Okay. All right. Let's see here. Let's ungroup. Nope, can't ungroup. Well, all right. This is where I'm like, let's go back to the original and see if I can mess with it this way. All right, I'm going to, I see. They were counting. This is a group, this is a group, and this polygon. Okay, let's ungroup here. Let's delete this. And now let's see what we got. All right, so we've got that and that. Okay, there's the white part right there. Perfect. This is what I wanted. You see, sometimes you just got to mess with it, and I didn't exactly know how it was put together. Every time you go to either purchase an SVG or download one, you may, it may not be put together perfectly, or it may not be put together the way you would think it would be put together. And so you just kind of have to mess with it. All right, now with this kind of separated here, I'm going to see if I can double click and point at it. Yes, I can. Okay, perfect. And so I want to take this guy right here, and I want to kind of make it to a point. And let's sort of move that in. Oops, back up. There seems to be more than one little point there. So I'm going to zoom in. So I'm going to try to get that right there. And see, I clicked on the wrong point. Okay, let's delete that point. There we go. All right, this is the point I want right there. Wow, what the hell? Oops, sorry. I also cuss a little bit when I'm designing. Sorry. All right, I've got it now. And I just want to kind of flatten that out a little bit. And all I'm doing is just grabbing that point and moving it. So I think this needs to not be so centered. I mean, not so perfectly round. And you know what? I could have taken this this SVG just the way it was and made a perfect a perfect little card without having to mess with it. So you're probably going, well, hi, Brandi, why are you doing all of that? It's because I want to show you a little bit about how to take somebody else's designs and make them your own. So I'm going to put, all right. Now let's see if we can smooth that out just a little bit. I'm going to select that and say simplify. And I think that looks pretty good. So let me scroll out here. I like it. Now, this guy right here is, I don't think I'm going to need these little bumps down here because when I size this down to what an A2 size card is going to need, it might be too small to cut. So let's go and look at this guy. So I'm going to kind of zoom in. And what I want to do basically is take these little humps out. So let me go ahead and double click in here. And I'm going to choose one of those points and I'm going to hit the delete key. And I'm going to choose this point over here, hit the delete key, and wow, it's gone. So I'm going to do the same thing here. Yep. And then over here, delete, 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 delete. The other thing is that I don't know if I necessarily need to have this pointed like that. It can just be a square. So now that I think about it, probably should just create my own little bulb here. That's what I'm going to do. Or not the bulb, but the little screwy thing. So let's go over here to the shapes tool and I'm going to choose the rounded edge rectangle. And I'm just going to draw a rectangle right here. And then go back to the select tool. And then I want to fill that in. Let's go ahead and fill it in with the brown or gray or whatever. And then I'm just going to set that there. Let's see. All right, let me zoom out. And then I'm going to use this guy right here. Okay, let's move this in. Sorry. It's a little too wide. So I want to grab that little square right there. And there we go. Now, if I want to make sure that it's centered on it, oops. So I'm going to select this and hold my shift key down and select that, or I could just go and select both of them like that. Then I'm going to my alignment tool here and I'm going to center. And that looks right. Okay. Now I do want the little hump that goes on the top. So I could use what they've already created here and just make it bigger by going to that corner and pulling out. Yep, I could do that. Or the other trick is to take the circle tool and draw a circle here. Let's go ahead and fill it with a color. Oops. Gotta hit the select tool and fill it with a different color. I can stretch it out a little bit there. All right, now if I send that to the back, that looks pretty good. Let me go ahead and center these two together. Center. Okay. Now I want to weld this together. Excuse me. And so I'm going to select both of them. Then I'm going to go to our little modify panel here, and I'm going to weld them together. Okay. All right. So let's kind of zoom back out. Let's put this guy with this guy, and let's see how this works. Now, I do all this work, and once I scale it down to an A2 size, it may be all wrong, but we're going to see. All right, so let me go ahead and let's group this together for a second. All right. Now, before I do anything else, I want to scale it because I still have some things I need to do to this because I'm going to be layering up the ornaments so that I have a white piece of paper underneath, then I have my colored or white piece of cardstock underneath, and then my colored bulb, and then on top of that we're going to have the actual screw thingy, whatever it's called. All right, but I want to do some scaling first to make sure if it's going to look right when I scale it. So I'm going to choose the draw the rectangle with the 90-degree angle, the straight angled corners. So let's go over here and let's color it. Let's color it a different color. Let's color it that kind of beige color. All right, now I want to go to resize it. So I'm going to unlock my aspect ratio tool right there. And I'm going to do the dimensions as 5.5 by 4.25 and hit return. And so that's going to be an A2 size. And got my little ornament here. Let me turn it around. And then let's go ahead and resize it. Let's send the card to the back, and then we can have our little ornaments here. All right, so there's 4 ornaments there. We probably might want to reduce the size if we want to do 4, but I think that looks okay. All right, so let's set these off to the side for the moment. Now let's look at the stringy part that I wanted to do. We need to bring in that file. Before I move on, let me look to see if there's any comments that I need to look at. I love this right here. It's okay, Brandi. It's fussy cutting. Cussy fudding. That's right, digitally. I love it. All right, and it doesn't look like there's too many questions. Alice is asking if we're going to be able to watch this again. Yes, this is living on YouTube, so you can always go to my YouTube and watch it there. Okay, so let's go back. I need to bring in those other files that I downloaded from Creative Fabrica, and let's see here. Oh, they're both PNGs. Oh, fun. Okay. All right. So let's go ahead. I'm going to bring in one of them. It's this one. And let's bring in the other one. I thought one was SVG, but I guess I was wrong. Okay. So this is going to bring in a whole new thing to show you. So I think this is going to be the easiest way if I want to use this squiggly line. There's no way to, oh, what? I thought it was in a PNG. Oh, this is beautiful. I love it because I've got the point editor and I can make changes. Love it. All right, so let's go ahead and select this. I'm going to copy it and I'm going to bring it over to the screen right here. Yay. Okay, I don't need to size it. I'm going to keep it big while I'm editing. But what I want to do is to remove all of this extra stuff here where the bulbs are. And I'm going to do an easy way of modifying this. We could do, okay, let me back up. So one way to do it is to double click, choose a point there and just start deleting until you get to the line, move over and delete. I'm just clicking over there, delete, delete, and that's it. I guess that's easy. The other way you could do is to use the eraser tool and erase right there. So then you have less to mess with. Okay, so if I hit the selection tool, and now here's just the line. I just have some minimal cleanup, and I can go ahead and delete these guys. All right. So let's just go in. Let me zoom in real quick. All right, actually, let me zoom out. First thing I would probably do is to simplify the path so I have less points to deal with. So while I have it selected, I'm going to hit simplify, and it's going to reduce the number of points that are on this little curvy line. Okay, so let me zoom back in. Oh, come on. Come on. Oh my goodness, my screen is taking over. Okay, I'm just going to take that point right there and delete. Now, if I delete one more time, it actually messes up the design. And now that I'm looking at this, now I see why it's PNG, because it didn't fill the area with color. So let me go Control Z again. So if that's the case, I think what we need to do, we need to go ahead and make it an SVG instead of a PNG, because I think that's going to not cut right. So this is what I was planning to do before I saw that there were points. So we're going to do that anyway. So I'm going to go to panel. We're going to go to the trace. And then with the trace panel open, I'm going to hit select trace area, and I'm going to select this area. And then I'm going to change, we're going to change the threshold, and this will just kind of tell us how much we want for it to select. And that looks good at 100%. So then I'm going to say trace, and then I can move this out of the way, and then I can delete that. All right, now I know it's going to be a much more cleaner cut. So let's go ahead and fill that with color. I'm going to just fill it with this color. And then let's zoom back in and repeat what I was planning to do beforehand. And it will make more sense when I tell you. If I select that point right there and hit delete, 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 if I do one or two more points, it's going to mess up the end of this line. 1, 2. You see how it's messing it up? So I'm going to do Control Z, Control Z. So what I like to do is on this bottom part, the bottom side of the SVG, I'm going to get over to this point right here and hit, oops, too far, Brandi. Right there is where I need to be. Delete, and one more, and then that should be good. All right. So over here, we're going to go onto this corner over here. Delete, 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 delete. And that looks pretty good. And we need to use or choose that point right there and work our way this way. If I started over here and went delete, delete, now it's messed up the line. So I can just go Control Z to go back. And it's easier to choose to go, I think on the bottom it's clockwise, and then on the top it is counterclockwise, because these points go in a certain order. And if you just continue to hit the delete button, it will continue to delete the points in that order, if that makes sense. So there we go. And I'm going to choose this point right here. Delete, delete, delete. All right, now let's go onto the top ones. And so instead of going over here, we're going to start on this side, and we're going to do clockwise. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. And I'm going to choose this point right here. I don't like that right there. I'm going to go back and fix it. Delete, 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 delete. Delete. Oop, too far. Let's delete that one. Delete, delete. And it looks like this one needs to be smoothed out. So let's go ahead and zoom in here and see what's going on. At first, I thought there were two points there, but it looks like there's just that one point right here, and we need to smooth it out. We can do that by using these handles. There we go. Kind of smooths it out. Now I'm going to actually move that handle in, or move that point in. There, that looks good. All right, let's go to this part right here that kind of looks funky. All right, so I've selected that. I'm going to use the handles to kind of smooth it out. And then I'm going to select that point and kind of just bring it in a little bit. All right, so let's scroll out, see what that looks like. So it's not the perfect line, but I think it'll do. Let's go ahead and simplify the path. That looks a little bit better. And we can put that right there on the card. And I don't think I want to scale it down any more, because if I do, it's going to make the thickness of the line a lot more skinny. So even if I think the line is too skinny now, I can make it larger, and that will increase the thickness of the line. Or I can also, like this right here looks a little too thin. Let me go ahead and zoom in. So this distance between the lines right here look a little thin. So I want to make this a little bit thicker. So I'm just going to add a little bit of thickness there. There, that looks good. All right, and then I can see where it is going to go. Let's go ahead and start putting some of our ornaments on it and see where we're going to place the ornaments and see if we've got enough room to do everything. I'm going to rotate this guy. Now, you don't really have to worry too much about the rotation when you're designing it, because I'm actually going to be hand placing this on the line. But I just want to make sure that when I actually do it, I have enough room. Now, the other thing I'm considering here is that 4 is an even number, and it would probably look better with an odd number of bulbs. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take this out, and let's make these bulbs a little bit bigger. So I'm just going to take one, and I'm going to scale it bigger. Let's put this line back in here, and let's see what we can do here. I'm going to copy this one to make sure they're the same size. Yeah, I think that looks a lot better. And then we'll put some space down here. I'm just going to put a little box to notate where the sentiment is going to go. And I'm probably going to stamp that. I'm not going to, I'm probably not going to use the Cricut to put the sentiment there. I'm probably going to use one of my stamps. So, all right. What do you guys think so far? Let me look in the comments. Do you guys think this will be a cute card for us to make? All right. I think I've put everybody to sleep. Nobody's commenting. All right, let's see here. There's a question here from, why not just use the string and bulbs instead of adding the bulb to manipulate? I'm not quite sure I understand. Perhaps you're asking why not use the originals SVG that had the string and the bulbs, perhaps. The reason why I didn't want to do that is because I wanted to be able to manipulate different areas of the bulb, and I also wanted to have more control over what the string looked like. So I hope that's what you're asking. If not, rephrase it. All right. Okay. Now I see some of you guys are saying this seems a little bit above what you're accustomed to. Yes, this is probably what I would consider an intermediate to advanced design, but I just wanted to give you the perspective of what you can do with point editing software. So there's lots of different point editing software out there. Inkspace is free. And Adobe Illustrator, you can get that on a monthly subscription. I paid for Silhouette Studio, was a one-time fee. They have different levels of license, and you can get a free version, but you can't export as an SVG. So I believe on the design level or the business level, I know for sure the business level you can, because that's what I have. But on the design level, you can export as an SVG, and that's what you need in order to bring it into Cricut Design Space. Okay, so I'm not quite finished with this design. Let me see what time it is. It's 2:20, so we got about 10 minutes left. Let's go ahead and finish these bulbs. All right, so this is the size that I want, or at least this is what I think I want. I haven't even cut it out on Cricut, so we'll see about that. And I'm just going to put the rest of this stuff to the side. So we're just going to be dealing with the bulb here. And I'm going to straighten it up just so we can see it a little bit better. All right, so let's go ahead and duplicate this. I'm going to copy and paste. Okay. Now I need a layer that's going to be this entire shape. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to weld this section, this little piece and this piece together. So I'm going to select it. I'm going to go over to my modify tool and I'm going to hit weld. But I want this to be all one piece without this cutout. So I'm going to have to take out the cutout. So I can do that by double clicking here, and I'm just going to delete those points. So now I have the bottom layer, which is actually going to be white. I have to select it. Nope, back up, back up, back up, back. I'm going to select it, and then I'm going to fill it with white. All right. Now for this part right here, actually, let's back up here. Back up, back up. I forgot to do something. I'm just hitting the Control Z. All right. I need a copy of this first, so I'm going to go copy, paste. All right. Now I am going to modify this so it's all one piece of paper. So I'm going to use that point there, and I'm going to delete out that hole, and then I'm going to change this to white. Now the reason why I needed to make that copy is because this is going to be the actual bulb itself, and it can be whatever color we want it to be, but I'm just going to leave it as this. And then over here, I'm going to ungroup, and then this is going to be its own layer. So we can actually get rid of this guy right here. So this is going to be a potentially 3-layered bulb. What I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this white layer to this pink layer, so we can go ahead and put those together, and I can do that by the center tool. Oops, the center tool. And so one layer is behind it. You know what? Just so you guys can see it a little bit better, let me change the color of that to yellow. All right, so if we put those together, you can see where it's cut out, and I'll hit the center button right there. And then this guy is going to go on top. I'm going to move it to the front, and it's going to go right here. I probably will put some double-sided foam right here and put this on top to kind of give it some dimension. But this is basically what it's going to look like. So there are going to be 3 layers to that bulb that I'm going to be putting together. So essentially this would be kind of like me die cutting this if it was a die cut, and then just sort of layering them one on top of the other. All right, so that is what we are going to do today. And then tomorrow we are going to test cut some bulbs and the string and see if it looks okay before we start cutting out with the colored cardstock, and just to make sure that you know, everything is okay. I usually do test cuts with my cheaper paper just to see if, you know, if it's too intricate, then it's not going to work on my nice pretty paper. And so I may need to adjust and you know, modify the design. But before we do anything else, I need to save my design so I don't lose it. So I'm going to save as to my hard drive, and I want to save it. I'm going to save it in the downloads for it. It's just easiest. And we're going to call this CCS Christmas bulb card. And there we go. All right. All right, let me look at the chat and see if we've got any questions here. See, Sandra is saying create export SVG does require a business level. Okay, thank you for letting me know that. But I do believe Design Space you can export. I'm not sure. If you look on Silhouette Studios or Silhouette America's website, they have a chart there that tells you what you can do on each level. Okay, let's see here. Is this an SVG? Can you change the bulb colors? Yes, you can change the colors. And I probably will change the colors when I go to actually cut it out. Right now, I'm just in the design phase, and I'm just using that hot pink color because it's easy to see. Alice is asking, will you show the finished card? Yes. So hopefully by Thursday, this will be a finished card. So today we're just doing the design inspiration. Tomorrow we are going to do we're going to bring it into Cricut Design Space, and then do some test cutting. And if we have time, we'll put it together tomorrow. But if not, we'll finish it off on Thursday, pending no changes need to be made to the design, because sometimes that happens. I you know, maybe that little sliver that I cut out is going to be too small and it's going to tear my paper or whatever. So I'll have to kind of test that out. All right, everybody's saying export SVG requires business level. All right, so there you have it. All right. Okay, you guys. I hope you have enjoyed this little fun tutorial or little glimpse into my design mind and how I think about creating a card, especially with SVGs, and how I use Creative Fabrica to kind of give me the starting point, because creating that shape of the bulb is not terribly easy, and somebody else who has much more um, or much higher skill level in, like, say, Adobe Illustrator has done the work for me, most of the work, and so I can make my own little primitive changes to it. All right, let's see. Could you turn on the wire into a draw feature? Possibly. I don't know that that tool very well, so I don't know. All right, you guys, I'm gonna head out. I'm gonna take a little nap now. I feel like I'm out of breath already, and I will see you this evening. Hopefully, fingers crossed, for Creative Fabrica's live stream, which will happen at 7 p.m. tonight. And if not, I'm sure we'll get somebody else in to be my backup. All right. Take care, you guys. Take care. Bye-bye.